Once again, the Houston locker room is open till about 11:43. We're joined now by L.J. Cryer, Juwan Roberts, Emmanuel Sharp, and head coach Kelvin Sampson. Coach, we'll ask for a statement, then we'll take questions first for the student athletes. Coach.
Yeah, I mean, it's an awesome win for my kids. I mean, obviously, we have great respect for Duke and their team, their tradition, what Coach K and Duke has meant to this game for so long. So, you know, I said the same thing after we beat Gonzaga. You know, you're not just beating a good team; you're beating an unbelievable program. But I knew that Duke's defense was going to give us some problems because of their length. We spent a lot of time matchup hunting in the second half, trying to get the right matchup. The guy, by the way, that's a down and back for the old ball coach. I would not put up with that. I can't believe I have that in my pocket. Sorry about that.
You're okay, Coach.
When they got up to 14, you know, that's where we had a couple of things go right for us. Emmanuel hit a three. We got an offensive rebound. They missed a couple of tough ones. But, you know, we held them to 37% the second half. You know, and we held that team to 67 points. So that was a tempo we could live with. We could not win this game in the 80s. We couldn't score 80. But I felt like we could win the game in the high 60s or low 70s. I felt that way going in. We have to depend on unscripted points a lot of nights. You know, unscripted points for us is second chance points. I think we had 19 second chance points. What's the difference in that running the most beautiful play in the world and somebody comes off a screen and you go, bravo, great play? There's 2 points. I mean, that's us. We're probably more of a offensive rebound, put it in for 2 than run the greatest play ever and have everybody go crazy because you executed something. But we had 19 second chance points. We scored 8 points off their turnovers, and we were under 10 on turnovers. I knew we weren't going to turn Duke over much because they don't turn it over. I mean, they're so disciplined. Flag got 27. Canepa made some shots, but we were really focused on those other guys. We did a great job of not allowing Proctor to turn the corner and get into paint off pin downs. He's so good at that. We stayed down on every shot fake that he had. He shot face and gets in the paint. When we ran at him, we stayed down on shot fakes. When he would come off a pin down, the guy guarding the ball would jump to the ball and make him pass it. So we did a great job on all the other guys. Canepa, you know, he made some tough threes. Cooper flag, but Cooper was not going to beat us by himself. And I felt like if we could just hang in there, even when we were down 14, I think these guys will tell you what I was talking about in the huddle, was just hang in there. And I thought if we get it down to single digits, get it down to around 5, JoJo had the just boneheaded play. You know, he was so apologetic, almost in tears, I couldn't even get on him. He knew what he did wrong. That's one of those dudes, just leave him alone. He'll learn from that. But with that, it put him up 6, and then we got a rebound, go down and bang a 3. Now, once you get to 3, now there's game pressure. You know, it's a lot easier to finish the game when you're up 20. It's a lot harder when you got to finish it up 3 or up 4, even up 6. And that's why I said don't foul. It's 6 points. That's only 2 possessions. So we wanted to. I put JoJo on the ball, and we tried to deny, encourage him to throw it long because JoJo's wingspan is 7'6½". So I thought we could take everything over the top and force him to throw it east and west, and that's where the referee was counting so slow a couple of times that that's why I told him to go check. But then when I was looking at the replay, I said, it's probably only 3 as slow as he was counting. And then but, getting J1 to the free throw line, when we lost to Duke last year in Dallas, I didn't think we lost because we lost Jamal. I thought we lost because we lost JoJo Tugler to a broken foot at the end of February, and Jamal. But the real reason was the free throw line. Javier was 2 for 7, and J1 was 3 for 8. It's a 3-point game. And so when we got to June, when our kids came to June, I gave a very impassioned talk about that. I don't know if these guys remember, but I told them, I said, we have got to change our mentality at the free throw line. And even though we only lost 4 games all year, a couple of those, the free throw line impacted 2 of those. So we had our kids make 150 free throws 7 days a week. I don't think J1 missed a day from June 2nd till we left on Wednesday. We left on Wednesday, right? So Tuesday night, I looked at what he shot from the free throw line with his 150 makes, and he shot 87%. That was his highest percentage he's ever shot. When he started this, it was at 66. So on his own, he went from 66 to 86. That wasn't the coaches. Give all the credit to him. He went to that free throw line every single day and made himself. So in that moment tonight, in the moment tonight when everybody was watching, he prepared himself when nobody was watching for that moment tonight. So God bless him. Proud of him. I told him last night at midnight I loved him. So it's probably almost midnight now. So just proud of these guys for what they've accomplished.
Thank you, Coach. Both locker rooms are open till 11:53. We're taking questions for the Houston student athletes. We're going to begin up front with Myron.
Myron Metcalf, ESPN for LJ and J1. When they went up 59-45, I think a lot of people thought it was over. Why wasn't it over for you all?
LJ first.
I mean, it ain't over because they still got time on the clock, and as long as there's time on the clock, we're going to go out there and give it our all. So we've been in positions like that before at Kansas. I don't remember how much we was down, but it was late in the game, and that game looked like it was pretty much over too. But somehow we ended up winning it. So, we just had to keep that belief and keep faith, and we got it done.
Basically what he said, just believing that we can win. I feel like basketball is a game of runs, and, they went on their run. So I feel like once we started pressuring them defensively, turn them over, I think that triggers us offensively. So looking at the time and looking at the clock, I feel like we just believed in ourselves, and we had a feeling that we can still win the game. So Coach always tells us, just keep playing, fight, and never quit. If you lose the game, once you don't quit, you didn't really lose. So just going into games like this, we never want to go down, but it happens. But once you don't quit and you believe, anything can happen.
Second row in the center.
J1, how prepared were you for how much you would have to guard Flag down the stretch, especially when JoJo got picked up 3, then I think 4 fouls? It seemed like you really picked up your responsibility and said that this is mine to handle. Was that your mentality going into the game? Was that something that evolved as the game went on?
Kind of 50-50 and not trying to get too selfish, focusing on one player because it's a team game. So, but knowing going into that game, he's a player of the year. Brought his team to the Final Four. So we know it's going to be challenging, but the main thing was just to make him shoot contested jump shots, make him as uncomfortable as ever. But I feel like it was a team effort because I guarded him, Emmanuel did, LJ did, JoJo did. I think it was all a team effort to make him uncomfortable and just trying to slow him down.
On the left side. Take the microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Kevin Howell, TAN TV. J1, this is for you. Yesterday you shared one of the biggest things you'll take from Coach Samson was never to have a fear of failure. Going from 3-8 in the last game of last year, how excited were you to step towards the free throw line to put your team ahead?
To tell you the honest truth, going up to the free throw line, I wasn't really nervous at all, just because of the work that I put in. and just believing in it and trusting myself. And I try not to get sidetracked by how big the stage is or the crowd getting into it. I just try to trust myself, focus on my routine, and trust my work. Like Coach said, I shoot 150 every night, so I don't treat those 2 free throws any different than if I'm in there by myself. So just stepping up to the line, just believing in myself, and just trusting my work.
Second row in the center.
Yeah, Mark James, KJR, Seattle. It's for all you guys. All week long here, I heard about Duke, Auburn, Florida, and nobody was talking about Houston. Was that extra motivation for you guys? Did you guys feel just a sort of a level of disrespect that nobody was really giving you the credit you deserve?
Start with LJ, then Juwan, then Emmanuel.
Nah, I mean, I don't really pay attention to what other people say, honestly. I've been doing this whole year, I've been trying to stay off social media and stuff like that, so I really don't see those type of things. I try to just listen to Coach Sampson, and he believed we were the best team in the tournament, so that's the only person I listen to.
I mean, everyone has an opinion. They can say what they want to say, but when you put 40 minutes on the clock and you put Houston against whoever, they're gonna get our best shot. So we don't have to be mentioning the greats or this and that. We'll take the underdog spot, and we'll just do what we do.
Pretty much the same thing. Yeah, the whole year we've been focusing on ourselves, not focus on outside talk, and we that's how we operate. We just keep what's in our circle, and try to keep a chip on our shoulder, and that's how we play.
In the back row on the right side.
Isaac Bourne, Mid-Major Madness. J1, you've been at Houston. You've been wearing that jersey for 5 years now. What has kept you coming back? And now, to this point, you've seen so many things happen, and now you get to finally play for the first national championship game.
Family, that's number one. I call all these guys my brothers, and all these coaches too. They take us under their wing and they make sure we're good. And I feel like when you come across, a bunch of people that's genuine and love you for you, I feel like you want to keep those guys close to you as much as you can. So, if I could be here for another 3 years, I would. But eventually you got to come to an end. But I have a number of respect, for my coaches and players for even giving me an opportunity, to play at the University of Houston, and just know what comes with this and the culture. I wouldn't trade this for anything else in the world.
We want to thank LJ, Juwan, and Emmanuel. They're going to get up and head back toward the locker room, which is going to remain open until somewhere in the neighborhood of 11:44, 11:53. Depends on whose watch you're looking at right now. Thank you, guys. Thank you. First question for Coach Sampson is going to go to John Fanta. Let's see if we can get him the microphone. He is 4 seats off the aisle. There he is. John Fanta.
Kelvin, to hear from your group that they are so locked in on everything. I know you've referenced culture all week long. A culture otherwise than the one you have does not win that basketball game. What can you say about this group's resolve and how much a moment like when you won at Allen Fieldhouse earlier this year you can recall in these moments?
Well, we actually, I don't think we could play any worse, and we're down 6 at halftime. I mean, we had some. Our bench wasn't very good the first half, and that's something that we've been good at. I'm not going to call out who, but all 3 of those guys can play better. So instead of ranting and raving at halftime, I was probably more calm and positive because I thought that's what they needed. They know they played poorly, but we're only down 6. And we're not down 16. We're down 6. We were down to Purdue the other night, I think 5. We were down to Arizona in the Big 12 championship game, I think, by 5. I mean, being down, what's the problem? It didn't matter to me that we were down to the team we were playing. We were down 6. That's a stop and a basket away from 4. But and we started off. I mean, our offense, we changed some things offensively. the second half. And then started scoring. The problem was we were stopping them. Their first shot wasn't beating us. It was their second shot. They kept tracking down offensive rebounds. That's what was hurting us. And I thought if we could hold them to 30-something from the field and we could be plus 10 on the boards, I thought we would win. It called me crazy, but I did. You know, I think we're top 3 or 4 in the nation in field goal percentage defense, and we've always been a pretty good rebounding team. It took us a while to become who we are. But at some point, if you have a culture, your kids aren't, you know, quitting is not part of the deal. We're not going to quit. We're just going to play better. So what we did was not foul. I think that was a big choice that we had to make there down the stretch was we were going to put JoJo on the ball and create problems throwing it vertical. So they had to get east and west, and those are the easiest ones to deny because the sideline, at some point, you can't go past that. And then once they got the ball in bounds, if they caught it anywhere near the corners, now you got JoJo coming to trap. Now, if they got the ball out of that, then we were thinking about fouling then. But we came up with a turnover we needed to. Malik he dribbled out there to hit that 3. I can't remember what the score. What were we down when how much time was left? Yeah, and I said, we don't need a 3. I mean, thank God I had a timeout. So I said, let's just get a 2. You know, get a 2, get 2 free throws. We don't need a 3 there. You know, a 3 just reeks of desperation. A 2 means, okay, we got an idea how we want to win the game. And then obviously when John called timeout, you know, everybody knows who's going to get it. And when he turned his back, you know, we were going to actually go double him with JoJo, and which means that Emmanuel would have to crack back and take out Mulowach. Not get the rebound, just make sure he does not get the rebound. But Juan, I thought, did an awesome job of getting his hands up high enough that it was not an easy look. But, you know, he had some tough shots all night. But, you know, when there's no such thing as a dagger shot when there's 8 minutes to go. Javon's free throws were daggers. You know, he hit some big threes, under 10, under 9, but that put it up to 14. You know, just keep fighting. LJ, and I think the one thing we did that helped, and you know, as a coach, you're always looking for something. We put the ball in Emmanuel's hands because he had the matchup we wanted in the pick and roll. And so we took the ball out of their best defenders were on LJ and Milos. And we thought that Emmanuel had the best chance to get the ball in the paint. And even if he didn't make the shot, Mulowach or one of their bigs had to come help, right? And that frees us up for offensive rebounding. And that is a huge part of our offense. If we make it, we make it. If not, it's going to be a soft miss. You know, a 3's a long miss. A paint shot is a soft miss. So now we can go tip it or keep it alive and get an offensive rebound. And, you know, we had 18 offensive rebounds, and I just noticed this. We held them to 39%. So there you go.
Want to congratulate Coach Sampson and thank him for